Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. The big question is, are we alive? Welcome to the Token Metrics Market Update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. This show is brought to you by tokenmetrics.com. If you need a roadmap in crypto, if you need to make money in crypto, or you just need technical analysis to guide you through this storm, then subscribe to this channel. If you like the content, feel free to hit the like button. All right, let's welcome some people on the stream. Okay, Silent from Greece, welcome. Crypto Student first on the stream, followed by Taz, Omar. We have Nebraska in the house, Austin, Texas, Malaysia, Idaho, Belgium, Malaysia. Welcome. Christopher, hi there. All right, now let's talk about what we're going to do today and how we're going to do it. I've been watching a little bit of Benjamin Cohn recently, I believe is how you say it. Okay. And the UK and Spain and Massachusetts are here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow things down. All right. We're going to do the market update. And then I'm going to say for the moment, to hell with the, high action stuff. And I'm going to try to take as many questions as I can. All right. Especially for my friends from Dallas, Ireland. Okay. And from the Latin American world. Welcome. So I want to do the market update and I want to take as many questions as I can. We're going to try to record the coins that you're interested behind the scenes. You probably don't want to stick your coin in now while I'm doing the market update. Maybe you can do so slowly as I approach the end of it. So what I want to try to do is I want to try to help everyone out slowly, because in many ways I knew the Fed was a risk. I just didn't know the Fed was a risk to the point where they could wreck speculative assets with a statement. The Fed wrecked the market with a statement of the minutes or notes from its last meeting. So if you're sitting there going, what the fuck is going on? Right? Well, what's going on is, the Federal Reserve has decided that they're going to raise interest rates more and they're going to print way less money. And they're going to do all that before the election. So smart money has figured out that whatever rate hikes they're going to do, they got to be done by July 4th. And they have scared the bejesus out of everybody. All right. So before I get started, we have Morocco, Ireland, Turkmenistan, Nigeria, Albania. Welcome. Okay. This is your market update. In search of support, sanity, the whole Megillah. Let's find it together. All right. Now let's begin with legacy. When you have interest rates going up, that is mega toxic for crypto, right? I'm sure people have already figured out that rising rates and slumping stocks looks just like 2018. Except in this case, you've got the yield on the 10-year note government bond as kind of the wrecking ball. So you want to have US 10Y on TradingView and put it right underneath Bitcoin. Now, as you can see, the green candle for this week in 10-year note interest rates is straight up. So rates up, bonds down. So bond prices are falling, interest rates are rising. Now, you may also say, well, gee, Bill, who cares? How does that impact crypto? Okay. Crypto is a speculative asset, right? And when the Fed raises rates, because they did this with Web 1.0. When the Fed starts hiking rates, when you have a lot of speculation going on, those speculative assets can really get hit. And if you go back to like 3 days ago, 4 days ago, remember I was talking that there should be a Santa rally in ETH, and there wasn't. There should have been ETH outperforming Bitcoin in early January. It hasn't. Not only that, but of course, when something's supposed to go up and doesn't, like ETH, what does it do? It goes straight down. So again, you want to be following interest rates. You want to be following how this impacts speculative assets like crypto. And as a couple of people are bringing it up in the comments, tokenmetrics.com is flagging certain cryptos that are doing okay in this market. Going back to a theme we had from the start of the year, that this was going to go from a crypto market to a market of cryptos. And the next thing we want to address, because really good research is always focusing on what's next, is this a temporary flush where you are safe in the Cosmos, Nears, and Axias, or is being safe in those coins an illusion that prevents people from selling, okay, that eventually creates a bigger down move later? Now, I don't have the answers to those questions, but I want you to know what the question is, because if you don't know what the question is, you'll never find the answer. And you and me are going to do it together. Now, stocks. God, stocks are such a pain sometimes, right? So I had a diamond formation in QQQ, and then I suspected after this recent decline, I didn't have it drawn properly. So the bottom line is, if tech stocks go down, it could be a much more ferocious decline than I suspected. That said, right, stocks a lot of times go down, scare everybody, and then they hold up. So this is the bottom line for crypto traders. If rates go up and stocks go down, crypto is going to take the worst of it. The only way this crypto crash stops is if interest rates stop going up. And the thing that's really freaky is that, the market anticipates Fed action in March. In crypto, that's like, that might as well be like a year. We got to put up with this uncertainty until March. So uncertainty is toxic. So if you're looking at crypto, you're like, what is going on? Right? The Fed on the warpath, especially in the middle of Omicron, along with this uncertainty, is what's creating the selling. Now, the question is, will equities assume that the Fed will still be aggressive if Omicron keeps getting worse and all this employment growth that happened kind of gets unwound as the economy has to do a soft shutdown? We'll see. Okay, but you're watching stocks and bonds for the rest of the year. Looking at Bitcoin long term, I have the 21-week moving average at 33K, right? And I have an eventual bottom and takeoff in October. So in case you're reading anything that says it's crypto winter, it's going to zero, and we're looking at a 3-year bear market, I think supports at 33, and I think October could be a bottom. So I'm just reiterating what I think long term. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin in the short term. This is the CME futures contract that was in, that's inside the ETF that I assumed people were going to want to buy in January, and they still might, right? I mean, big hedge fund manager Ray Dalio is on the tape going, hey, you should allocate 1% to 2% to Bitcoin. Now, somebody is asking, do I think March 2020 will be repeated? Great question. In many ways, in certain tech stocks, okay, March 2020 or worse has already happened. And somebody just commented that next week is the bottom. excellent point, because I was just about to say something similar in Bitcoin. Mike Novogratz came out and says he thinks 38,000 will be the bottom in Bitcoin. That probably means he has got a ton of buy orders at Galaxy Digital's trading desk near 40. And if there's a flush below it, there's going to be a huge influx of institutional buyers. All right. So that's a guess, right? Somebody else is saying March 2020 isn't the model. It's 2018. That was the last time we had a tightening cycle. Yes, that is correct. That is correct, right? So if the Fed goes on the warpath, there's a problem. But that doesn't mean that even if it's a bear market rallies can be vicious. So if we're in a bear market, and I guess everyone is now sort of, come to the realization that, especially with the way ETH is trading, but that doesn't mean that there can't be huge rallies once everyone pukes out their position. So one thing I was thinking was that Bitcoin was going to go below 40, scare everybody, print 38. God only knows what happens over a weekend if everyone freaks out, on a bad close on Friday. So you could get this big flash crash, right? And then that's when ETF buyers should come in. Now, if ETF buyers don't come in, it's going to 33, right? And if interest rates continue to go higher, it's 2018, right? The March 2020 story is about what's been going on in some of the smaller, more speculative tech stocks. I mean, that stuff does look like a bowling ball falling out of a window. Check ARKK. I don't have the chart up. Maybe we can pull it up later. But the bottom line for Bitcoin is this dump hasn't really been that big. There's probably buyers below, but the question is, how big is the puke, especially if ETH falls through 3,000, right? But I'm guessing that after a puke, someone's going to be interested in Bitcoin next week. Now, one of the other reasons why I think it's not, at least right this second, is because crypto stocks actually have a bid and are going green, right? Galaxy Digital, Novogratz's hedge fund, is back where it was in October, probably, and is going green probably because when he got his Luna tattoo, that was after they sold all their Luna at 100. So every time Novogratz gets a tattoo, he's telling you he sold his position. Okay. Somebody's saying I'm moving slowly into stable coins. I keep getting further wrecked with each dip. Okay, so this is a good point, right? If Galaxy holds a bid, right, that could mean the crypto market could be stable enough if Bitcoin holds next week for you to gradually adjust your asset allocation. So Galaxy's telling you a couple things. One, crypto may not get totally destroyed over the next, say, week. So yeah, the market's down, but it hasn't gone down 40% in a week, right? So if you did a bad trade, if you need to stop out, right? If you need to adjust your portfolio, okay, yeah, the market is down and the market may hold next week. The best investment strategy is the one that helps you sleep at night. So I'm hopeful Galaxy gives us a week to evaluate whether this is a corrective flush or whether this is an overall bear market. Now, going back to stocks, I'm just looking at the 21-day moving average near 47.80, 47.03. So the question is, are they done panicking in stocks? Is everybody going to calm down, which would really help Bitcoin and crypto? Or is there going to be more downside? Just going to have to take our cues from the legacy markets. I know that sucks, and I know it's hard when crypto's going down. Legacy is still supported by the Fed. They're still printing money despite their statement. So crypto takes the brunt of it. How much more downside in crypto is probably a function of what happens if stocks and bonds, if that situation deteriorates, then crypto's going to get wrecked. That's why I'm telling people to start getting psychologically adjusted and adjust your portfolio accordingly. All right, Ethereum. So it did not get above its 21-day moving average. The play I was making is I said it's consolidating just below resistance, and the odds are of a break higher. Then the Fed statement came out, and then that idea was destroyed, right? It just went straight down because when the Fed goes on a warpath, everything speculative gets wrecked, right? So in other words, my whole 21-day moving average strategy was FUBAR. Okay, so we're looking at ETHE. This is Ethereum in the equity market, right? 2650 is support. So this is the Ethereum equity market product. 2650 is support. So again, do you have to lose your mind right this second? No. Can you buy the dip if you've been in stable coins? Maybe, right? But I think if you bought the dip, you'd have to say, all right, if I buy the dip now, I'm going to buy even more if ETHE goes to 2227, which probably puts Ethereum at like 2200, right? So again, buying the dip is great. Catching things from a trading point of view. So if you're a trader, you wait for things to get washed out, you get good projects at good entry points, right? But if you're running a portfolio and you're looking to say, all right, how do I get my crypto portfolio set up? I think if you're buying the dip, you're taking a trading mentality, or you're saying, all right, if this thing has like a mega crash, I'm going to buy Ethereum at 2200 and 1700, which is the 21-week moving average. Okay. Now, in my mind, Bitcoin seems to have more support here than Ethereum does. ETHE looks good, but it's really tough to find where support is on the Ethereum chart. I mean, I don't see a whole lot of support on the Ethereum chart until 2800, right? So if Ethereum goes to 2800, ETHE may go down even more, right? Nobody wants to see ETH below 3,000, but you have to ask yourself, if everyone sees ETH at 3,000 Saturday night at 8 o'clock, is retail and leverage trading going to hit the panic button? That says nothing about what can go on in the speculative end of the NFT market. I mean, I'm looking to pick up NFTs if ETH falls below 2,200, right? Definitely. Especially metaverse land if it's still reasonably priced. But like I said, folks, I don't know how much of that trade you can do unless you got the capital to dollar cost average. Now, my suspicion is I'm talking to a lot of people who are trapped above in higher quality coins and layer ones like AVAX and Solana. So I'm going to try to do the best I can, right, to keep you updated so you can stay sane, right? You want to preserve capital and sanity, because the last thing you want to be doing is rage quitting crypto when this ends, right? A lot of times the Fed scares everybody, and then when the Fed actually makes the rate hike move, or it has to back off the rate hike move because of COVID, it's sort of like sell the news and buy the fact. All right. So I'm just trying to give you the framework. I noticed Woo, it broke the 21-day moving average. It's come back down, and then it's come back down again, right? One thing I forgot to tell you about the 21-day moving average, if I'm just going to keep it real, is that, once you come back, retest, you want to just go. I assumed we were going until the Fed bomb dropped on me an hour after Wednesday's stream. Okay. The thing I didn't tell you, which I'm telling you now, is, if you turn around, if you break, retest, and go, you don't want to see that thing turn around and come back and visit the 21-day. Now, maybe Woo holds, but there are tons of charts where it was break, return, go fail. Right? Now, if you didn't understand that, I understand. Now, one way to look at it is let someone else buy it. If you're like, okay, I want to get involved. I don't know whether I should get out. I don't know what to do. Let the big players come in and show you some green. Let them show you some green. Okay. So total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay. Now, yeah, Megan said, we were all here on Wednesday too. I understand. I get it. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry. I felt really, really bad on Wednesday. I knew the Fed was going to hike rates. I just think they weren't going to go crazy and issue tough statements when Omicron was coming. But, I don't have a camera and a microphone inside the Fed. So total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, is trading below its 21-week moving average. Now, if I was going to advocate that this is another 2018 and that this whole market is going to vaporize, this is the chart I would do. Okay, this is what I would use. I would basically say altcoins as a speculative asset class have trapped everybody in Solana, Ethereum, AVAX, and Cardano, right? That's where retail is trapped and institutions are trapped in Bitcoin. So if the Fed goes on the warpath and stocks crash, then, that's all she wrote for altcoins, especially the highly speculative stuff, right? I thought this was going to be a year that small caps came back. Now I'm starting to wonder if small caps are something you should start researching now so that when they potentially get to bargain basement prices. In other words, you made a ton of money if when the decline started in 2018, you spent the next year and a half researching what coins were going to come back. That's how people found Cardano, Matic, Helium, Synthetics, Chainlink. So it will be a world for small caps. There will be a market of cryptos. The metaverse will continue, just that figuring out what coins to buy. Like, what's the biggest reason to preserve your sanity, right? What's the biggest reason to not rage quit crypto? It's because, good projects at good entry points could theoretically apply across the board. And if there was some panic, which I assumed was going to be sell in May and go away, if that happens now, then, if that happens over the weekend, then, figuring out what small caps, what destroyed plays to get into might matter. That said, you don't want to take ridiculous amounts of risk, particularly in what I would call consensus long positions. In some ways, value investing is now the thing, right? What is undervalued? Because this chart is telling you that there may be a whole section of the big cap crypto market that's either overvalued, overowned, or in trouble if VCs say started selling their bags. Solana comes to mind. More on that later. MicroStrategy, okay? Michael Saylor has invested a lot of borrowed money in Bitcoin. So with the Bitcoin ETF, this wasn't the most important stock to watch in crypto, but now it might be. Hello, Brazil. Okay. Very interesting that, MicroStrategy really does not trade very well, but I'm definitely interested to see how it performs at 485. If there's no bid for MicroStrategy, that could tell you that, there's an spaghetti-o down move coming where, they wick Bitcoin below 40. I think Bitcoin wicking down to 40, some people in our private groups were suggesting that, and I didn't think so, and they were right, which is why subscribing to tokenmetrics.com can pay off, because a lot of times, ironically, the analysts help the customers, but sometimes the customers help each other and the analysts. So shout out to the guys that were thinking down to 40 and then up. Looks like they had the right call. Now, let's get to the serious shit. People are trapped in stuff like AVAX. People may have FOMO'd in around Thanksgiving, and AVAX was actually giving you a lot of reason for hope because it wasn't going down. Elijah's asking, what's the most bear market proof crypto? Is Luna bear market proof? Well, folks, if it's a true bear market, which means crash, huge rally, crash, huge rally, crash, and die, there is no safe crypto. Are there cryptos you want to buy on dips? Yeah, big dips. Luna, Near, Cosmos, most likely. We'll get to all that. Big question for the moment, is AVAX one of those cryptos? In other words, what happened to the days when the market would go down and AVAX was going to go up? Now, I don't have the chart up here, but I think you got to be watching total value locked. And yes, somebody notes that Chainlink could be one of those coins that holds up, right? Along with Polkadot. All right. So 73 is a support point in Avalanche. 94 is a level where, honestly, to say that this is out of the woods, it has to be above 95. So this is your introduction to how are we doing support? How are we doing resistance? Yes, somebody brought up helium. We'll try to chart that later. Okay. If 94, if AVAX is above 94, it's okay. All right. But if it's not above 94, then there's a possibility of 73 or 70 because, everything wicks below support. So it could wick down to 73 or just below it, say 68. All right. And if you're long Avalanche at 120, then you literally have to do the math, see what your P&L would look like and say, can I tolerate this? Because there is one thing you can do. You can buy the dips gradually. You can dollar cost average. People have heard of that. But if you're in a losing position, you don't have to get all the way out necessarily, right? If you're not comfortable with the risk, you say, all right, I'm going to sell half. If the market turns around, Bitcoin bottoms next week and everything is fine, then I'll just get back in. If not, I'm protected at least a little bit if it goes down. So this is an introduction to technical analysis as like a mind tool, right? How do you be invested and sane? How do you do risk management? Everyone's like, oh, you should manage risk. Everyone talks about that. Yeah, okay. How do you do that? How does that work? And I'm trying to help you figure out how that worked. So Phantom. Now, the question is, Phantom is all that. It's beneath resistance, right? So I'm always telling y'all, sometimes there are big consolidations below resistance. People are obviously buying the dips, okay? Someone's asking do I think ETH can turn around? Yes, but at what price does it turn around? This is the question with Phantom. Now, with Phantom, my guess is that buyers and sellers are going to battle it out just below resistance. And then I'm using a stochastic on TradingView. And I'm saying, all right, let's see what happens, right, with stochastics. Does the stochastics roll all the way down to 20 or 30? In other words, does that mean Phantom may go sideways for, say, 2 weeks? I think that's possible, right? Like the Phantoms, the Near, and the Cosmos, they'll probably have potentially an upthrust, right? But if Bitcoin continues to go down and Ethereum just continues to be bidless, right, then Phantom may either slump along with the market or it may just go sideways until the overbought condition is relieved. Now you're like, wait a minute, what does that mean? Well, that means when the stochastic comes all the way down into the oversold zone, okay? What are the color-coded areas you have on those charts? Yes, those are Gann fan lines. That's kind of my secret sauce that I draw to try to find hidden support and resistance points. Okay, Matic. Good projects at good entry points. Was kind of thinking 2.5 might have been good at the 21-day moving average and got stopped out of that trade, 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after I did it. Okay. So somebody's talking about Seek VR and Sandbox partnering with Facebook. That's a good point because, again, Metaverse, after they destroy everything, there's going to be buying opportunities in that sector. More on that later. Now, one of the ways ETH is going to experience a revival, other than getting ETH 2.0 started, is this whole idea of layer 2 solutions. Okay, eliminating gas fees is going to be a big narrative. And I hear a lot of people talking about Matic becoming a top 3 coin, which is funny because when Matic was at 60 cents in July, no one wanted it, right? No one wanted it at $1.50 and no one wanted it at $1.80. Now, people may wanted it too, and that makes me believe there may be a wick below 2. Now, if there is, that might be a buying opportunity in your Matics, your Phantoms, and your Nears, right? Good projects at good entry points when people are panicking if you have the capital available, right? Now, that analysis does not apply to somebody who bought it at 280, right? If you bought it at 280, you need to adjust your position, even a little bit, just so you can psychologically say, all right, I'm protected. So if it wicks down to 190, I can get involved. All right. Dash. Dash, right? I need crypto Prozac on this one. I have such a hard time giving up on Dash because this is a usable currency with country after country experiencing crises, some economic, some geopolitical. Okay. And I'm looking at this at 115 and I'm like, God, if Bitcoin holds, right? Because I have a really tough time seeing Bitcoin below 33, right? And I think Bitcoin below 40 is going to have to be the result of a leveraged unwind, right? I mean, it's not like Bitcoin can't go down, but I just have a really hard time being bearish on something usable like Dash. Now, if it doesn't hold support between 100 and 115, then I'm just going to have to shut up and move on. But when I look at this weekly chart and I see how close it is to support, I'm like, oh my God, if there's a wick down in Bitcoin to 40, is there an opportunity to do value investing in stuff like Dash? I mean, look at Coinbase's stock, right? I mean, yeah, it went to 360 and then it went to 230, but it's actually holding back where it was in July, right? This is one of the reasons why I'm not like, all right, you can be ready for 2018. You can be ready for something bigger and nastier. But I mean, right now, it's looking like somebody's trying to buy Coinbase stock back where it was in July. So, and Galaxy is the same way. So it's funny, market down, leading indicators of crypto kind of upticking. So, I know the Fed shit's nasty, and I know I started off detailing all that, but the name of the stream is In Search of Support. Where is the support, and where are the cryptos that you want to get involved in that have upside potential if there is either a rally or a bear market rally? Because bear market rallies are huge, right? It's like 25% in one day. So there is a way to be long in a bear market. You just have to wait until exhaustion occurs. Now, as I'm looking at this chart in Coinbase, I'm like, all right, these stocks may be telling you one flush lower, and it may be time to think about adding if you've got the capital. Okay, Luna, Jesus. Obviously Novogratz tattoo is a sell signal, meaning, he went out and sold and then got a tattoo as his way of telling you that they sold everything. But, if this thing goes back down to a big fib number at 60, I mean, Jesus, people were FOMOing into this above 90. And if this thing has people and retail puking out of it, I had support at 76. That didn't hold. Let's see what the weekend brings. But if everybody panics, there's support at 60. And one of our analysts who thinks that Luna is great for a variety of reasons because of the yield it can provide on stable coins, and it's connected to the Cosmos universe. Interoperability layer 0, right? Connecting the whole world to DeFi. So, I don't know how Cosmos can be up and Luna can go to 0. Luna is a buy on a dip at some point, particularly since people are really keen to buy the dip in Cosmos. All right, Polkadot. Now, this is the big question. Will there be a reversal in Polkadot? Okay. Will there be a rally in Polkadot or a reversal in the market as a whole on January 9th? Right? I've been talking about this as a GAN date, and now I'm starting to wonder whether this applies to Polkadot and the whole market. Right? There's going to be an inflection on the 9th. Either this thing is going to puke out and reverse, or, we're going to have boom. Okay. I kind of thought boom was a May phenomenon, but we'll see on January 9th. I have such a hard time dumping interoperability down 50% from its highs. That's one of the things I saw Benjamin Cohen tweeted out. It's like, hey, everybody, Bitcoin's down 40% from its high. I mean, who wants to sell crypto down here? Nobody. But, sometimes that can feed a bear market. So we just have to see. We got to identify levels and dates, okay, so we can figure out what to do and when we do it. Okay, Moon River. This definitely looks like a stop flush, right? It sat, it built a base. I kind of figured this was going to be the bigger the base, the higher in the space, and they flushed everyone out, right? In other words, they flush, and then it's either going to come screaming back above 200, or this is some sort of like disappointment trade with the crash, okay? Following from Mexico, are we going down? Okay. I don't know how much more downside there is to answer that question based on what I said earlier. I suspect there's going to be a sweep below 40,000 in Bitcoin, right? And there's probably got more downside in Ethereum, but eventually this thing does come back either for a quiet rally or a bear market rally where it's like huge flush, everyone panics, and then back up. And you have to evaluate this like a trader or an active portfolio manager. If you've done a bad trade, that's okay. I did a bad trade next week. I'm still here, right? You just got to say, all right, that was right or wrong, and just adjust your risk. I had to adjust myself so I could come back and be real for you. Now let's talk about PERP. PERP hits a support point like just below 8. This was kind of like the takeoff point from that huge bottom back in July, right? So are decentralized derivatives done? I mean, PERP obviously has not been able to recover above its 21-day moving average. I was kind of thinking it was sitting on top of it like a bird on a wire getting ready to fly, and somebody took a shotgun to the bird, and boom, it goes down. But the question is, do the perps and the sushis, the Nears and the Cosmos, if it's a market of cryptos, as soon as they get done flushing everybody, which may have already happened, I don't know, but as soon as they get done flushing everybody, some of these cryptos may be good projects at good entry points. All right, now let's talk about Cosmos, right? So we love this, right? I said nobody's wanted to buy Cosmos at 40 or 44. That still seems true, okay? But it's not really backing off from support. So I get the idea that there's rotation going on. Sector rotation is part of equities, and it's now a part of crypto. You can definitely see people selling ETH to buy Near. It's obvious, right? You can definitely see people selling other altcoins, selling Luna to buy Cosmos, right? Now Luna may come back, but people are hiding money. Chainlink, Cosmos, right? Chainlink, Cosmos, and Near, right? And possibly Phantom. So if you have to be long, as most hedge funds do, that's what they're choosing to be long in. They're going to buy those coins and do a leveraged short against it. So that's a nice long-winded way of telling you that Cosmos may wind up being the crypto of the year. Does that mean you should buy Cosmos on an up day when the whole market is down? I don't think so. I think if you're going to buy Cosmos, you wait until it's above 44 and then comes back down. Or if there's a flush down into the mid 30s, right? This whole idea, I sort of talked about it on Wednesday, but this whole idea of FOMOing into something when it's below resistance, I mean, yes, sometimes you can get long hoping it breaks through. When you have a market that's acting like this, you want to wait and make the market either prove itself or give you a discount to where you're like, oh man, just, Phantom, I'm sorry, at Cosmos at 38 or ETH at 2,800. It's like, I got to grab something if you got the capital, right? Got to just take a shot. Okay, Near. So the 21-day moving average is at 13. What Near is doing is going sideways as the support from the moving average comes up to meet it. So it's pretty clear that a layer one with interoperability is where all the money's going. It's coming out of ETH and into Near, Cosmos, and Phantom. As soon as this market stops shitting on itself, Near can probably go to 19. So the market will go down, the market will go down, then it'll go up. Near will consolidate, so there might be a market up day with a Near down day, but eventually Near is probably going to take out 19 because, people are demonstrating that they want to buy it. Now, Solana. So this is no joke, right? Solana, you have VCs with huge bags. There's a head and shoulders top pattern, which has been confirmed by a brutal retest of the neckline. So here's how head and shoulders top works visually, right? It's up, down. The bulls go, oh, we got it. The bears go, no. Then the bulls go, okay, this time we mean it, F you. And the bears are like, no, F you. And they take it down. Bulls make one more attempt, and then all the bulls give up. And I showed you the pattern, but I wasn't exactly blowing a trumpet going, Solana's going to 100, because that's the target of the pattern. So if you're long Solana, you have to ask yourself, can I tolerate Solana at 100? Solana is on a Gann point at 140. Hopefully that holds. Really, you can't be bullish Solana until it gets back above 200. If you want to try to buy it at 140, you can, because sometimes just buying it when everyone's given up, saying it's going lower, sometimes that works. But I mean, if it was me and I saw this chart formation, I would either buy something else or wait for Solana to go to 100. And if I was trapped in Solana and there was like a mini rally, I might reduce my position, not investment advice, just so I could be sane. So if it went to 100, I'd have capital to grab it, right? This is a classic example of, if there's a bearish formation in a bear market, then, you got to pay attention. I was paying attention when it was a bull market, but now I have to look at this and be like, okay, if this thing breaks 140, it's going to 100. Like the thesis that there might be this like weekend flash crash, right? This is the chart where it comes from, right? And if there is a weekend flash crash, that can be the buying opportunity. But I don't want people who will long Solana at 200 puking it out at 100 and rage quitting, right? If you need to reduce your position now, if you can't sleep at night, then do something with your position until you can. It's not investment advice. It's cryptotherapy, which anybody who watched the live stream way back when, used to be a segment that we would have. So that is the slide-driven market update. I'm going to close the slide program, and I'm going to try to do my Benjamin Cohn imitation, right? Because a lot of people may or may not notice, but I'm relatively new. I'm not new to TV and the market update. I'm new to doing a live stream and figuring out how to interact with y'all, be entertaining, or actually, I should say engaging, while being calm enough and cool enough to help everybody, right? So, okay, so we did Adam, right? Let's take a look at BCH. Someone was asking for BCH. Let me get the screen share up here. And let's just start. Okay, this is like altcoin overtime, the chill version. So it's a little bit slower moving because I have to pull up the charts one at a time. All right. So Bitcoin Cash. All right, let's go to a higher time frame like the weekly. Okay, it's like another thing I learned from Benjamin Cohn. I watched him switch time frames. Okay, let's clean up the chart. All right, so Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so Bitcoin Cash has been down here 1, 2, 3 times. Now, I actually like Bitcoin Cash, even though everyone else hates it. Okay, but I got to be honest with you. I grew up, one of the first things I was taught in technical analysis is triple bottoms don't hold. So this is the 3rd or 4th time Bitcoin Cash has been down here. So I would be somewhat concerned that if there was a huge wick lower, everybody who's trapped here, okay, might puke it out. Now, that's a massive buying opportunity for Bitcoin Cash, and I certainly hope that that support level holds. So here's my tactic. If 400 is support, right? If this thing's above 400 and there are green candles, Bitcoin Cash is okay. If Bitcoin Cash is doing a weekly close below that low, which is at, 387, then you either got to wait until it gets back above 387, or you got to be saying, all right, I'm going to try to buy it a lot lower. Okay, people asking for Reef. Let me see if I can get Reef pulled up. I know we got a lot of Reef fans out there, along with Internet Computer Protocol. Try to get to that too. Okay, Reef. Okay, let's do a daily. All right, by the way, folks, as I do this while I put up charts, that is a very good opportunity for you to hit the like button, right? For my Benjamin Cohn imitation here. Okay, Reef. So you have a flush below support, and this looks like a gigantic stop fishing exercise, right? In other words, if you do the Elliott wave on this, it's what I would call a give up trade. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that, certain sectors of crypto have been in a bear market since the fall or the summer. So I would say, if I wanted to be long Reef, or if I was long Reef, I would be psychologically prepared for 0.012. Right? So in other words, if they flush out everybody who was in Reef here, right, that's where the give up trade would go to. Because I think, right, if there's going to be a rally, if people are going to wake up and figure out that the Fed cannot go insane with Omicron, right? Seriously, if Omicron continues to get worse, how insane can the Fed go? Well, that's debatable, right? With this, Reef is either a buy right now, or you have to be prepared for a major flush to the bottom. So if you're long reef, that's how I would say it. It's either now, okay, or not never, but much later, much lower, okay? All right, let's see what else I got here. Okay, RMRK. All right, we were looking at RMRK. And unfortunately, this is an example of what can happen when you're looking at speculative coins, particularly in the metaverse. Now, normally, I like to see the 62% retracement hold. So let me see if I'm smart enough. Normally, I would have wanted to see RMRK hold there at 31. Obviously, it didn't. RMRK is now at another GAN and fib point near 22. Now, maybe this is a fault of mine, but I have such a hard time saying, oh, yeah, puke this out down here. Just puke it out. Give up. Okay, I mean, this is where actually the whole rally started from. Okay, that said, if RMRK is below 21, like the next level is 11. So should you catch the falling knife in something like this? I would say no, right? You would want to see a green candle like this, right? Like, just look at this whole area. Like, have you seen a green candle like that anywhere in this area? Like, okay, maybe you saw a sort of one there, right? In other words, there's good projects at good entry points if you can figure out what the good entry point is. Okay, the good entry point in RMRK, you know, it might be just below where we are right now at 18. So maybe between 18 and 21 or 18 and 20 is a good point. But like I said, you know, it looks like it's on sale. So if you were like, you know what, I want to get a bunch of metaverse coins and I want to hold them for the rest of the year. Well, then this may look like Christmas to you because it's much lower. Okay. I think you wait until over the weekend to see if you can get it below 20. If you can't get it below 20, then wait to see when this type of coin starts. Because obviously that's what it looks like when it's mooning. And obviously all this red price action right here is far from it mooning, right? So for what that's worth in RMRK, okay, people asking for Sol, see if I can find that. You know, this is a big token metric.com favorite, okay? So this is this whole idea where, you know, cryptos can sometimes do this. They can retest a support point, right? This can, you know, it looks like a breakout. You know, this looked like a breakout and this looked like a breakout, right? And then it comes back down, right? So with Sol, I would say just drawing the fib number, that you're either going to see a bottom at 2.5, okay? Or if this market is hosed, you're going to see $1.66. So if I was long, I don't think I'd be panicking because it's kind of close to, you know, it's at least above 2.5, right? But I would prefer to see it back above 306. In other words, it is now up to the bulls to take charge again. Because just like over here, once this thing started going down, right, it just kept going, right? So if that happens again, you know, Sol may drip down here. You want to make it so that you're either getting it on support at 2.5, and if that doesn't work, you want to have the flexibility to move out of the position, or you want to buy a partial position at 2.5 and then get it when it gets down to 1.6, right? So you don't want to just, oh my God, Sol's down, I need to rush in. You don't need to rush it, I don't think, right? You want to get it make them sell it to you at a good price. All right. Let's do Crow, crypto.com. Tell you what, folks, if there was ever a day for on-demand TA, it would be today, especially headed into this weekend. So don't forget to hit the like button. And don't forget to tell your friends that this is the only place to go in a crypto bear market to get no bullshit analysis. Okay? Because a lot of these other guys only do one coin at a time, and I'm doing anywhere from 25 to 50. So with crypto.com, the good news is there's support around, say, 48 cents. And crypto.com is holding just below that. Now, if crypto.com does hold 48 cents, like this reminds me a little bit of Coinbase's stock in Galaxy. I would actually be encouraged if crypto.com came back above 48 cents. I might actually try along with the stop. Let me say that again, with the stop if that happened. However, if crypto.com fails at this 62% fib number, then I don't know what happens. But you can make an argument in this coin that, you know, it's an A, B, C correction. They did that little flush below, like, say, 49 cents. Very interesting. Very interesting, in fact, right? So if people go to get involved in crypto, I mean, you got to remember, folks, there's people out there in legacy who are saying, oh, God, I was thinking about being involved in crypto a month ago or 2 months ago, and look, they just marked it all down. So for crypto.com, if 48 doesn't hold, you know, that's it. But a lot of times, you know, if the market's going to bottom, some of these coins will lead the way. And this could be a leader. So I'd be encouraged if you saw a good close above 48 or 50 cents. Okay, everyone's asking for helium. The big question is helium the new internet? I know this is a big multi-coin play. I know they're currently trapped in Solana, although they don't, you know, they don't see it that way because they're long Solana at 30 cents. They're probably looking to buy more at 100. Okay, so if I had to draw a corrective formation in helium, right? This kind of looks like this to me, right? In other words, this is a coin that I think would be vulnerable if the whole market got destroyed, right? In other words, right now, helium isn't really doing anything bullish or bearish. So if you're long helium, I don't think you have to like lose sleep. That said, you have to ask yourself, if helium took out or went down to the mid-December lows, would I want to look at that? Okay. Now, in the very short term, I think I would be encouraged okay, so the big level, I think, in helium from a tactical point of view is 33. So if helium goes to 33 and bounces, it's bullish. If it goes through 33, you're probably looking at 24. Okay. You know, do I think helium owners have to panic? No. Okay. But you have to ask yourself, you know, am I willing to live with 24? So if you bought it at 40 because you thought it was going to 60, all right, was totally understandable because frankly, I thought it was going to 60. But you don't want to buy something at 60, know it's good, but wind up panicking if it goes below 33. So adjust your position. But if you're holding this, you know, not investment advice, you know, I don't see this as kind of like, you know, this doesn't look like an end of the world crypto. It looks like something that is popular that at worst case can be flushed to either 33 or lower. But that's a good project that you want to get at a good entry point. Now, Rose, this is another big token metrics pick on the fundamental side, and it looks just like Sol, right? The question is, when Rose, hit 45 cents, did it pay to buy the first dip? No, because, obviously it did this. So, are you in a huge hurry to buy Rose? I don't think so. Honestly, I mean, 29 cents is where this thing would be on sale. So if you're holding it and you bought it down here, well, I guess you can just, you're just hodling, right? But if you bought Rose at 39 cents, you got to ask yourself, can I tolerate 26? Because I would think somewhere in this area would be where you would grab it, particularly if there's some sort of panic flush. Again, folks, I can say good projects at good entry points for television entertainment, but the real issue is, can you buy it, or do you have the psychological ability and the capital and the patience to wait for the good entry point, right? And some of these altcoins that have outperformed, there's another thing you have to keep in mind, right? Hedge funds are big crypto players. That's how these things moon, or cryptos can go up, right? When the market's going down, it's because hedge funds are buying. Well, if a hedge fund's got 25 cryptos and Rose and Sol are one of them, the first thing any trader does when they see certain things going down, when they see they're losing money in some areas, they're like, okay, where do I have a bunch of profit? Ooh, I got profit in Rose, Sol, and Phantom. Oh, shit, let me take that profit to offset these losses because I can't handle having all of my cryptos go down. That's why, when you saw it fail here, that's why it just kind of, bled out. So, if it comes back above 43 cents, well, shit, man, we'll be having a party on the live stream. In the meantime, let someone else buy it, or identify my entry point, or more importantly, your entry point, and make them sell it to you at a good price. Is 35 cents a good price? I don't know. I know that 29 cents is better, or 27 cents is better. And you know what, folks? No one ever got fired taking profits. I forgot to mention this on some of these other trades. You got profits, and you're like, damn, I missed the high. No one sells the high. Just like no one buys the low. That's why it's the low. Because there's nobody down there. No one sells the high. No one. So if you didn't sell the high, you don't beat yourself up about it. You just say, all right, where's my P&L, and what can I tolerate? What can I tolerate? All right, somebody asking for Kusama and DOT. I did DOT earlier. 26 is a key level. The most important thing in DOT is going to be what happens on January 9th. Oh, look at this. God, right? I was thinking the 62% retracement at 287 was going to hold. Now, basically in Kusama, we're sort of praying that this old high at 232, which never got retested, is the level where this bottoms out, right? So the good project at the good entry point is at 232, all right? And if 232 is not support, well, then, we're probably talking about poker or football on the live stream, because it's a calamity. So not that Kusama is the key to the whole market, but, again, you have to watch these big projects to see if they actually flush, wick down below key levels, and then come back, right? Because if they wick down and don't come back, then that tells you what's going on here. So here's the final word. The current call is for a wick down in Bitcoin and Ethereum over the weekend, with the market coming back next week, either as a stable market or as something that can rally, because everybody views crypto on sale and Omicron not over. That's my preferred scenario at this point. Now, after that rally, we'll determine whether it's a real rally or a bear market rally. I know the difference, and I will help you find it. In the meantime, say that program, let's pretend it's like last week where I opened my mouth and 2 hours later I'm wrong. That's okay, because you're going to look at your P&L, manage your psychology, manage your capital. If you're getting wrecked, reducing positions, preserving capital and your sanity is important. Value investing is important, and understanding that sometimes you need to take profits as market rallies. Okay. So this goes for people who are in profit. Don't be a pig, right? If you've got profits and you're asking yourself, should I take the profits? Then frequently you have answered your own question. So possible flush lower, possible return next week. What kind of rally happens will determine, say what happens between now and the end of the month. Okay. Don't fall for the FUD too early, right? But manage your risk. Okay. So let me say goodbye. Megan, Grizzly, thank you for being here. Thank you for hitting the like button. That's going to be it for today. All right. I wanted to wish all y'all, don't support the Cowboys. Yes. I like the hat because it's blue. Okay. And I also want the star to be the thing that, you look up in the sky and be like the Token Metrics YouTube channel helps light the way for you going forward, bull or bear. Okay. So Matt, Taz, Tyson, have a good weekend. I will see you on Monday.